Recently released data from International Math and Science Assessments indicate that U.S. students continue to rank around the middle of the pack and behind many other advanced industrial nations, according to Pew Research in 2017. One of the biggest cross-national tests is the Program for International Student Assessment, which every 3 years measures reading ability, math, and science literacy and other key skills among 15-year-olds in dozens of developed and developing countries. The most recent PISA results from 2015 placed the U.S. an unimpressive 38th out of 71 countries in math and 24th out of 71 countries in science. With recent and continual struggles in education funding, lotteries and the legalization of sports betting can be an entertaining yet beneficial way to increase the coffers for education. These results won't surprise many people. In 2015 Pew Research Center report, only 29% of Americans rated their country's K-12 education in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, known as STEM, as above average, or the best in the world. Scientists were even more critical. A companion survey of members of the American Association for the Advancement of Science found that just 16% called U.S. K-12 STEM education the best or above average. 46% in contrast said K-12 STEM in the U.S. was below average. We are all mindful that the education system in the United States is in turmoil and in need of funding. Many states are having their educational budgets slashed by legislation to make ends meet. Powerball headlines and anemic revenue projections should keep it alive as a topic of conversation, if nothing else. Lotteries and legalized sports bettings provide participating states with valuable funding to benefit education. The first point I will be covering is, why doesn't Mississippi participate in the lottery? It seems a bit ironic Mississippi doesn't have its own lottery, despite being passed in a vote by people back in 1992, according to sunherald.com. Unfortunately, the legislation has voted against several bills proposing a lottery for Mississippi. But in the 23 years since the state lottery has become constitutional, no such bill has survived. Even though the constitutional amendment dispensed with 2/3 supermajority requirement, any bill with a large impact on state finances, such as a lottery, needs a 3/5 vote in each house to pass. That is a steep climb for any bill, but one that was made more difficult by several new headwinds that emerged after 1992 referendum, according to rethinkmississippi.org. Mississippi is one of the 6 states, including Alabama, Alaska, Hawaii, Nevada, and Utah, that doesn't support a state lottery. Even though legislation has opposed bills proposing a lottery, few legislators are willing to give it a try. According to sunherald.com, Representative Richard Bennett, a Republican of Long Beach, sponsored a bill that would allow Powerball tickets to be sold at states' casinos, and Senator Tommy Gallat, Republican of Biloxi, sponsored a lottery bill that would funnel lottery proceeds into education, roads, and bridges for the state. Another reason why lotteries have been held out of Mississippi is due to the opposition from churches on casinos. With religion being a major factor in Mississippi, it leads to a strong influence of being against anything that supports betting or gambling. The next point I will be discussing is the benefits of implementing a lottery and the legalization of sports betting and gambling. According to the New Orleans City Business in 2008, the state legislature used the lottery proceeds for the Education Department's Minimum Foundation Program, also known as MFP. It is the primary source of funding for elementary and secondary education. States as far away as New Jersey, according to Bond Buyers Investor Service and analyst Emily Raines, have seen a positive impact from sports gambling on their state. If Mississippi followed through on this, it could be an economic benefit for the state as well as the state's education system. Many states have seen benefits from lottery revenues towards the state's budget. The impact of the lottery on state education expenditures varies between the states over the years following adoption, according to Public Budget and Finance. Unfortunately, with no lotteries in Mississippi, we're losing potential revenue for our state to other states such as Louisiana. Another benefit of a lottery would be the improvement of lifestyle because the revenues can go towards education. Justice Samuel Alito of Forbes.com states that legalization will produce revenue for the states and critically weaken illegal sports betting operations, which are often run by organized crime units. Alito also states that Congress can regulate sports gambling directly, he noted, but if it elects not to do so, each state is free to act on its own. The final point I will be making is how you can make a difference and help support the lottery in Mississippi and the legalization of sports betting. The first step is quite simple and explanatory, but many people fail to do it. Becoming familiar with your local politicians and educated on their views puts you in a position to help make change in Mississippi. Politicians often campaign by sending their party members to local communities to hand out flyers or brochures that contain their views and values for their campaign. Instead of throwing away or ignoring their flyers, read them and educate yourself on the candidates, and you'll have a better chance of making the right decision come election time. The last step in making a difference is simply to vote. Your vote can help change the state of Mississippi in a positive manner and help fund programs such as our education system, who could desperately use the extra revenue. Evidence shows there are financial struggles related to education in Mississippi. Low budgets and low test scores across America are critical signs of help needed within our education system. It's clearly a win-win situation if we implement a lottery and legalize sports betting in Mississippi. Citizens will be able to participate in the state's own lottery as well as enjoy sports betting, all for a good cause of benefiting our education system. People's enjoyment can turn into creating a better education for our future children. It almost sounds too good to be true. You can make an impact by voting for lotteries, legalize sports betting, and spending your money in Mississippi. In conclusion, the significance of a state lottery and legalized sports betting to bring in revenue to the state is essential to improve our education system.